What's up guys, Steve from Cult of Mac here, and it's now been a little over 6 months since I got my hands on the Apple Watch Series 3. While I've already done a full review, I wanted to revisit it now that half a year has passed to tell you my experience, what I like, what I don't, and whether it's worth it. Let's get started. So 6 months in, and my Series 3 Apple Watch has held up brilliantly, there's no scuffs, and only 1 or 2 very light scratches. I tend to look after my stuff anyway, but I've been going to the gym, swimming, playing with my daughter, so there's been plenty of times I've knocked the watch against something and it's still looking great. As I mentioned, there are 1 or 2 very slight scratches, which are more than hard to see, but I do kind of wish I spent just a little bit more for the stainless steel version instead of picking up the cheaper aluminium one. Not only do I prefer the look of the stainless steel version, but it also comes with a sapphire crystal screen rather than the cheaper Ion X glass or whatever Apple calls it. I still have and occasionally use my original Apple Watch, which is the stainless steel version with the sapphire, and there isn't a single scratch on that after 3 years of use. I mainly use the Apple Watch for workouts and for notifications. I've recently been trying to shift some pounds, so the Series 3 is perfect for keeping me on track and motivating me to keep going. The only real exercise that I enjoy doing is swimming, and for that the watch is perfect. I can head to my local gym with just my Apple Watch, so there's no need to risk leaving my $1,000 iPhone 10 in a locker or my car. If I force myself to go to the gym, it works flawlessly, and it's now actually fast enough to be useful. Previous iterations of the watch could take far too long to load apps, and would leave me standing in the gym just staring at my wrist. Now the watch is fast enough to load anything and get straight to it. It's how the original Apple Watch should have been. Also, I'm an Apple Music user. I sync my music automatically and use my Beats X or AirPods to listen to music without having my iPhone nearby. For when I'm swimming, I can just wear my watch, set the length of the pool, click go and not worry about it. It tracks how many lengths I do super accurately, how quickly I do them, how many calories I've burnt, and the different swimming strokes brilliantly. Having the watch keep count of what length I'm on is super helpful as I'm always forgetting whenever the pool is busy, and whilst I build my fitness up, I'm always trying to reach a certain goal in terms of length and time. Another feature I actually love with my Series 3 Apple Watch is having cellular. I've seen a lot of people complaining that they don't use it, but when I'm swimming or at the gym, when I don't have my iPhone with me, it's super handy. Being able to reply to a text whilst working out, or take a call during swimming just helps me to keep in contact with people and not carry anything extra. Plus, as I mentioned, it's now fast enough to do whatever it needs to do, so things like dictating messages is not a problem. The downside of this is obviously the cost. You get the first 6 months of LTE free, and then there's a monthly cost after that. For me personally, it's not too bad. It's an additional £5 per month, which works out to around $7 or so, but in the States it can cost people over $10 per month. What frustrates me is there's only usually one price option with each carrier. For example, with mine, that $7 gives me 10 gig of data, which seems way too much for what I need on the watch. But I can't just use any leftovers from my existing mobile plan, or have the option to downgrade the amount of data. Thankfully, it's just a monthly rolling contract, so if I feel that I'm not making the use of the LTE on my Apple Watch, I can cancel at any time. The watch has always been good at giving nudges to do just that little bit of extra exercise, to close rings by taking a short walk, or to stand up every hour if you've been hunched over a desk. And the Series 3 is no different there. But it does now have heart rate tracking and even resting heart rate, which isn't something I personally use very often, but I'm sure it's useful to a lot of people. Outside of workouts, the Apple Watch is still handy for quickly checking notifications, using Siri on the Apple Watch is surprisingly good, and then it's also great just as a watch to tell the time. Although the faces that are available are starting to feel a little tired. It still baffles me that Apple hasn't made some sort of a watch face store for third-party developers and brands to sell their designs. In general on the watch, there's a lot of features I don't use enough like Apple Pay, but that's because I still feel a little strange raising my wrist to the terminal. Battery life on the Series 3 has also really surprised me, giving me around 2 full days on average. Of course, I'd love it to last even longer again, but compared to my original Apple Watch, which barely lasts a day, this is a massive improvement. I tend to put my watch on charge every night, just out of habit, but it's really nice when I've forgotten to do that, and I wake up to find it's still got 60% or so left, which is plenty for a full day of use. With the past 2 series of the Apple Watch, they were more of a luxury. One that could be infuriating to use. But with the Series 3, it's actually something functional and useful, generally helping to add to the whole Apple ecosystem. It's the first Apple Watch that's really worth buying for most people. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments section down below what you think of the Series 3 Apple Watch and what you'd like to see in the next generation. If you enjoyed this video though, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next one.